Silence is not weakness. Silence is not fear. Silence is power when you know when to use it. Most people talk themselves into small lives. They explain, they defend, they react. The powerful do something different. They choose silence with precision. If you master silence in these 5 moments, your life will change. How people treat you, how you move, how you win. Let's begin. Anger is the fastest way to give your power away because it doesn't ask for permission before it speaks. It shows up loud, urgent, and convincing, telling you that if you don't say something right now, you'll lose respect, control, or dignity. That voice is lying to you. The moment you open your mouth in anger, you stop leading yourself. You stop thinking clearly. You stop choosing wisely. Anger wants immediate release, but what it delivers later is regret. Silence in that moment is not avoidance, it is command. It is you deciding that your future matters more than this temporary fire. When anger rises, your body reacts before your mind does. Your heart speeds up, your muscles tighten, your thoughts narrow. In that state, you are not operating from wisdom, you are operating from impulse. Words spoken here don't come from truth, they come from emotion. And emotional words have consequences that logic cannot undo. Silence interrupts that chain reaction. It creates a gap between feeling and action. In that gap, you regain control. You remind yourself that you are not required to respond to every trigger. You are allowed to pause, and in that pause, you protect your reputation, your relationships, and your inner peace. Most people think speaking up in anger makes them look strong. It doesn't. It makes them predictable. Anyone can react. Anyone can explode. Strength is the ability to remain grounded when everything inside you wants to erupt. Silence in anger confuses people who expect a reaction. It shifts the power dynamic instantly. The person who stays calm controls the situation because calm sees more, hears more, and decides better. When you stay silent, you force the moment to slow down. And when things slow down, truth has space to rise. There is also a deeper discipline happening when you choose silence over anger. You are training yourself to respond from values instead of emotions. You are telling your nervous system that you are safe, that you don't need to fight to be respected. This builds emotional authority. Over time, people notice that you don't lose control easily. Your words carry more weight because you don't waste them when you're triggered. Silence becomes part of your presence. When you finally do speak, it lands harder, clearer, and with intention because it's no longer fueled by heat but by purpose. Anger often wants to defend the ego, not the truth. It wants to be right, not wise. Silence allows you to separate what actually matters from what simply bruises your pride. Many conflicts don't need a response, they need time. Many confrontations resolve themselves when you don't escalate them. Silence gives other people room to reveal themselves. It lets them keep talking, keep pushing, keep exposing their intentions while you remain centered. In that stillness, you see clearly who you're dealing with and what, if anything, deserves your response. Choosing silence when you're angry is not about suppressing emotion, it's about directing it. You can feel anger without letting it drive. You can acknowledge it, breathe through it, and decide when and how to act. This is how leaders are made. This is how respect is earned without force. Silence turns anger into intelligence. It transforms a moment that could have damaged your future into one that strengthens it. And once you realize that staying silent keeps you in control, you stop feeling anger and start mastering it. The moment you feel the urge to prove yourself is the moment your power is being tested. That urge doesn't come from confidence, it comes from insecurity knocking on the door, asking for attention. When you start explaining who you are, justifying your choices, or defending your worth, you quietly hand authority to the other person. You shift from standing in your truth to performing for approval. Silence in this moment is a declaration. It says, you know who you are, and you don't need agreement to remain steady. Real confidence doesn't rush to be understood. People who are secure move differently. They don't chase validation because they already possess it internally. They understand that not everyone needs to understand them, and not everyone will. Trying to prove yourself to someone who has already decided how they see you is wasted energy. Silence saves that energy. It keeps you rooted instead of reactive. When you stop explaining, you create space for your actions to speak. And actions, repeated over time, are louder than any defense you could ever offer. There is a subtle strength in letting misunderstandings exist. Most people panic at being misjudged, but misjudgment does not define you. Your consistency does. Silence allows you to stay aligned with your values instead of bending to correct every false narrative. When you remain calm and unmoved, people begin to question their assumptions on their own. And if they don't, it still doesn't diminish you. You don't shrink because someone else refuses to see clearly. You stay whole because you never abandon yourself. F to win approval. Explaining yourself too much often lowers your position. It signals that you're seeking permission to be who you already are. Silence, on the other hand, communicates self-trust. It tells people you are comfortable standing alone if necessary. This kind of quiet assurance is unsettling to those who rely on control or judgment. They expect you to argue, to justify, to plead your case. When you don't, the balance shifts. You remain centered while they are left to sit with their own assumptions. Over time, silence builds a reputation that words cannot. People learn that you don't engage in pointless debates about your worth. They notice that you don't react defensively when questioned. This creates a sense of authority around you. When you do choose to speak, it's purposeful, measured, and grounded. Your voice carries weight because it isn't constantly trying to convince. Silence sharpens your presence. It makes your words rare, and rare things are valued. Choosing not to prove yourself is an act of self-respect. It's understanding that your value is not up for negotiation. Silence in this situation is not passive, it is intentional restraint. It is you refusing to step down from your truth to meet someone else's doubts. When you stop proving, you start leading. You move forward without needing applause, validation, or permission, and that quiet certainty becomes unshakable power. Some people are not interested in conversation, they are interested in control. L. They poke, provoke, and prod, not because they want understanding, but because they want a reaction. Your reaction feeds them. It gives them energy, relevance, and influence over your emotional state. The moment you respond impulsively, you step into the game they designed. Silence, in this situation, is not avoidance, it is refusal. It is you deciding that your peace is not entertainment and your emotions are not accessible to everyone. Reactions feel natural, almost automatic, because the human brain is wired to respond to threats. But not every provocation is a threat, many are distractions. When someone pushes your buttons, they are often testing how easily you can be moved. Silence breaks that test. It removes the reward they are seeking. Without a reaction, their power collapses. They are left exposed while you remain steady. In that stillness, you send a clear message without saying a word. You cannot be controlled through emotion. People who thrive on reactions are deeply uncomfortable with silence. Silence forces them to face themselves. It removes the noise they use to mask insecurity or intention. When you don't respond, they often escalate, revealing more of who they are. This is where silence becomes intelligence. You observe instead of engage. You learn instead of argue. And what you learn in those moments is far more valuable than anything you could have said in defense. Engaging with reaction seekers drains energy and focus. It pulls you away from your purpose and locks you into cycles that go nowhere. Silence protects your momentum. It keeps your mind clear and your emotions regulated. When you don't react, you stay in control of your direction. You choose where your attention goes, and attention is currency. Spending it wisely is how you preserve strength. Silence is not weakness here, it is discipline. There is also a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you don't have to respond to everything. That confidence unsettles people who rely on emotional access to feel powerful. When they realize they cannot provoke you, their influence disappears. You remain composed, grounded, and self-directed. Over time, people learn that baiting you doesn't work. This shifts how they approach you, or whether they approach you at all. Silence becomes a boundary, firm and unmistakable. Mastering silence around those who want a reaction is mastering emotional sovereignty. You are no longer pulled into unnecessary conflict or mental chaos. You stop outsourcing your peace to other people's behavior. Silence allows you to rise above manipulation and move with clarity. When you refuse to react, you don't lose your voice. You choose when it matters. And that choice is power in its purest form. There is a quiet danger in speaking too soon about what you are building. When your vision is still forming, when your plans are fragile and growing, words can weaken what silence would protect. Announcing your goals before they are rooted exposes them to doubt, judgment, and unnecessary pressure. Not everyone who listens wants to see you succeed. Some people plant seeds of skepticism without realizing it, others do it intentionally. Silence in this stage becomes a shield. It gives your vision room to breathe, to mature, to become solid before the world gets a vote. Early disclosure creates expectations that can distract you from the work itself. Once you talk about what you're building, your mind starts chasing applause instead of progress. You begin to measure yourself by reactions instead of results. Silence keeps you focused. It allows you to work without performance, without explaining unfinished ideas or defending incomplete steps. Growth requires privacy. Just like roots grow underground before anything shows above the surface, real progress happens where no one is watching. There is also power in being underestimated. When people don't know what you're doing, they can't interfere with it. They can't project their fears onto your plans or limit you with their beliefs. Silence gives you freedom from other people's limitations. It allows you to move at your own pace, make mistakes privately, and adjust without scrutiny. When success finally shows, it speaks for itself. No announcement could ever carry the same weight as results revealed without warning. Building in silence sharpens discipline. Without external validation, you are forced to rely on internal commitment. You learn to show up without praise, to keep going, without encouragement. This strengthens character. It separates those who are serious from those who are performative. Silence teaches you to trust the process rather than seek reassurance. And that trust becomes unshakable confidence over time because it is earned through consistency, not applause. Silence also protects you from premature judgment. People often evaluate ideas through the lens of their own experience, not your potential. What makes sense to you may sound impossible to them. When you share too early, you risk absorbing doubt that was never yours to carry. Silence keeps your mind clear. It preserves belief. It allows your vision to evolve without being boxed into someone else's understanding. You don't owe anyone an explanation while you are becoming. When you finally step into visibility, silence makes the impact stronger. Results have a way of silencing critics more effectively than arguments ever could. The contrast between what people assumed and what you achieved becomes undeniable. Silence turns your journey into a statement. It shows that you were working while others were watching. And once you understand that privacy fuels power, you stop announcing your moves and start letting your outcomes speak. There are moments when speaking would feel justified, even necessary. But wisdom knows that not every truth needs a voice. Some words, even when accurate, can lower your position if spoken in the wrong moment or to the wrong audience. Silence in these situations is not about fear, it is about self-respect. It is the understanding that your dignity is worth more than the temporary satisfaction of saying what you think. When you choose silence, you are choosing elevation over ego. Many people confuse restraint with weakness, but restraint is strength under control. Anyone can lash out, correct, or retaliate. Very few can hold themselves steady when provoked. Silence protects you from being dragged into emotional chaos that benefits no one. It keeps you aligned with who you are becoming, not who the moment tries to turn you into. When you speak from irritation or pride, you often say more than you intended and reveal more than you should. Silence preserves your composure and your authority. There is also a powerful awareness that comes with silence, knowing when a conversation cannot rise to your level. Not every environment is worthy of your perspective. Some spaces are fueled by gossip, pettiness, or hostility, and speaking there only entangles you in the same energy. Silence becomes a boundary. It communicates that you do not participate in exchanges that diminish your standards. This kind of quiet refusal speaks louder than confrontation ever could. Words have weight, and when used carelessly, they can attach you to moments that don't deserve permanence. Silence prevents unnecessary damage. Relationships strained, reputations questioned, opportunities lost. It gives you the ability to walk away internally without creating conflict externally. You are not denying your truth, you are choosing the right time and place for it. Timing transforms words into influence. Silence is what protects that timing. As you practice this discipline, people begin to notice a shift. You are no longer easily baited into arguments or defensive explanations. Your presence feels steadier, more composed. Others sense that you value yourself enough to remain above trivial exchanges. This earns respect quietly but consistently. Silence refines your character. It teaches you patience, emotional intelligence, and discernment, qualities that naturally elevate how others perceive you. Choosing silence when words would lower you is a decision rooted in long-term vision. You are thinking beyond the moment, beyond the urge to be heard or proven right. You are protecting your future self. Silence keeps you grounded in purpose and aligned with your values. It reminds you that not every battle is yours to fight, and not every opinion deserves your voice. And in that choice you rise, without saying a word. There are moments when words rush to the surface, demanding to be spoken, insisting that silence would be surrender. In those moments the ego is loud, convincing you that if you don't speak now, you will be overlooked, disrespected, or diminished. But wisdom sees further than the moment. Wisdom understands that not every situation deserves your voice. Some moments test not your ability to speak, but your ability to stay elevated. Silence here is not hesitation, it is discernment. It is knowing that your value is not increased by every comment you make, and your strength is not measured by how often you respond. Speaking when words would lower you often comes from a desire to defend pride rather than protect purpose. Pride wants to win arguments. Purpose wants to preserve direction. When you react verbally to insults, ignorance, or provocation, you allow the situation to pull you down to its level. Silence refuses that descent. It keeps you anchored in who you are becoming, not who the moment tries to provoke you into being. This kind of silence is not passive, it is intentional restraint. It is choosing composure over chaos, control over impulse, dignity over drama. There is a hidden cost to unnecessary words that most people only realize after the damage is done. A single sentence spoken in the wrong tone at the wrong time can follow you longer than years of discipline. Silence prevents collateral damage. It protects your reputation, your relationships, and your future opportunities. When you stay quiet, you give yourself the advantage of perspective. You can see the situation clearly instead of being consumed by it. And clarity always leads to better outcomes than emotional expression ever could. Silence also reveals maturity. It signals that you understand not every environment is worthy of your truth. Some spaces thrive on conflict, gossip, and reaction. Speaking there doesn't enlighten, it entangles. Silence draws a boundary without hostility. It says you are selective with your energy and intentional with your words. People may not understand it immediately, but they feel it. Over time, they recognize that you do not engage in conversations that diminish your standards. That recognition quietly builds respect. As this discipline strengthens, you notice a shift within yourself. You become less reactive, less eager to correct, less dependent on being heard. You start choosing timing over urgency. When you finally do speak, your words land differently. They carry weight because they are rare. They carry authority because they are deliberate. Silence sharpens your voice by teaching you when not to use it. This restraint turns communication into influence rather than noise. Choosing silence when words would lower you is an investment in your future self. It is understanding that being right is often less important than being aligned. Silence keeps you grounded in your values when emotions try to pull you off course. It reminds you that not every battle is worth your energy and not every opinion deserves your response. When you master this silence, you stop fighting for respect and start embodying it. You rise above the moment, protect your purpose, and move forward untouched, stronger, steadier, and unmistakably in control. There is a rare power in knowing when to say nothing and simply listen. Most people listen to reply, to interrupt, to insert themselves into the moment. They speak too quickly because silence makes them uncomfortable. But silence, when used with intention, becomes a spotlight. When you stay quiet, people keep talking. And the longer they talk, the more they reveal about their motives, their fears, their limits, and their truth. Silence here is not emptiness, it is awareness in its sharpest form. When you choose silence instead of filling space with words, you gain information most people miss. You hear what is said and what is avoided. You notice tone, timing, and intention. You see inconsistencies without calling them out. This is how clarity is gained. Talking less sharpens perception. Silence allows you to read the room instead of dominating it. And the person who understands the situation best is always the one with the greatest advantage. People often underestimate the strength of being quiet because they confuse it with passivity. But silence, when deliberate, is active control. It keeps you from revealing too much too soon. It prevents you from exposing plans, emotions, or vulnerabilities to people who haven't earned access. When you speak less, your inner world stays protected. You decide what is shared and what is withheld. That selectivity builds authority. It shows you are not easily pulled into noise or pressure. Silence also creates gravity. When you don't rush to speak, people lean in, they pay attention. Your presence feels grounded, composed, intentional. You are no longer competing for space, you are commanding it quietly. Over time, others begin to wait for your words because they know you don't waste them. Silence transforms your voice into something measured and meaningful. When you finally speak, it lands with force because it comes from observation, not impulse. There is a deeper inner shift that happens as well. Silence teaches patience. It trains you to be comfortable without external validation. You stop needing to prove intelligence, opinion, or relevance. You realize that peace does not come from being heard constantly. It comes from being aligned. Silence helps you listen to yourself, to your intuition, your instincts, your inner compass. And when you are connected internally, you move with certainty externally. Mastering silence in this way changes how you move through the world. You stop reacting to noise and start responding to truth. You see before you speak. You understand before you act. Silence becomes a strategy, a filter, a form of leadership. It keeps you composed while others rush, informed while others assume, and grounded while others seek attention. When you learn to be silent at the right time, you don't disappear, you become unmistakably powerful. Silence is not absence, it is intention. It is the space where power gathers before it moves. When you learn when to hold your tongue, you protect your energy, sharpen your judgment, and elevate your presence. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. Not every moment needs your voice, but every moment needs your awareness. Choose silence with purpose, and when you do speak, let it come from clarity, not impulse. That's how strength is built quietly and felt immediately.